On Sandy Hook, New Jersey, there remains a stark reminder of a tragedy that happened nearby in Middletown, New Jersey. Ajax missiles. This is the devastation that was once left behind. Imagine your quiet neighborhood being turned into what some called a hellish nightmare. Nobody knew what was happening or why it happened, and there are still questions left to this day. Let's explore the physical, emotional, and even the paranormal impact of this event. The missile bases were placed along the coastline in New Jersey and several other places around the United States to protect against missile attacks during the Cold War. Out on Sandy Hook, New Jersey, is where the memorial for the 10 lost American lives is today. Here you can see their names on a monument. Nearby, the Nike missile.
So of course, this is a decommissioned missile and it's not harmful to anyone, but it sits out here on beautiful Sandy Hook. But that's not really why we're out here. This display sits out here for a reason. It's to commemorate the loss of Americans. This is the tribute to Americans who lost their lives here in New Jersey because of a Nike missile explosion. Let's read their names. Sergeant Daniel Lavengood, Sergeant Jerome Mold, Special 3 Walter Berry, Special 3 William Cochran, PFC Donald Marsh, Private Nicholas Capacino, and some civilians as well that have passed. Ordnance Corps civilians were Joseph Asserier, Joseph Brokos, Lee Parker, and Charles Romano. So there was an explosion on American soil and it killed all of these folks. The 22nd of May, 1958. So that was a pretty long time ago. And I live within about a mile of where this explosion happened. Now what's crazy is you would never, ever know that there was an explosion there. Nobody ever talks about it. Nobody knew about it. But why do I know about it? Because some of these men have come and spoke to me in my home. I was unsure why I was getting visited by so many men in the military, although my first assumption was because I am a former Marine and they would feel comfortable speaking with me. But the high volume and the injuries that they had didn't make any sense. So I had to do some research and I found out that within a mile of where I live was one of the largest missile explosions ever on American soil. Let's see if we can speak to some of them today. We'll try here, and then I'm gonna go back to the neighborhood where the Nike base used to be and see if anybody there might want to speak to us. This story has been heavily on my mind, and I thought today might be a really good day to come out and talk about this and see if we could have anybody communicate. We'll be using the SB7 Spirit Box, and hopefully we'll hear some answers. And once we try with this, we'll also give it a shot with the Ghost Tube Vox app, which I have a ton of luck communicating with. So let's see if any spirits want to come through and say hello to us. To all the spirits here on Sandy Hook, my name is Scott. I come respectfully and with love. I am just looking to speak with the gentlemen that are named in this placard, the military men who passed away in the Nike missile explosion. So if you're present, or if you would like to be present, this is your opportunity to come down and say hello. Maybe you can say one of your names and talk to us, okay? I have a radio in my hand. As military men, I think that you're all pretty versed in what the radio does and how it works. So just speak as loudly as you can, and if you have a message, I'm ready to listen. Hello? Who? My name is Scott. I was in the United States Marine Corps as an ammo technician. Are any of the men who passed away in the Nike missile explosion here? I'm a newcomer, yes. Do you like where they put your memorial? Yes. Can you tell me how many spirits from the Nike missile explosion will be joining us today? At least 5, it sounds like. Can one of you say your name for me, please? I can see your names over here, so you can say your last name or your first name. That sounded like Don. Is PFC Marsh here with us? Can you tell us what happened that day when the missile exploded? Sounded like a yes. Was there a problem with the safety mechanisms on one of the missiles? Something else, it said. Can you tell us what that something else was? It said accident for sure. Were you not listening to the safety protocols? How many missiles were supposed to be out at a time? Can you say the number of missiles that were supposed to be out of the silo at once? From my research, it seems that only 1 was supposed to be out at a time. Now we'll ask how many were out. Can you tell us how many missiles were out of the silo for maintenance? Three, it said, and that's what the reports say. Is there any kind of message that you need passed on to your friends or anybody watching this? I'm all right, it said. All right, I'm all right. If I come to where the explosion is, are any of the souls that perished that day still there?
No.
Oh, they said no. I've had reports of paranormal activity in some of the homes where this happened, which is part of the reason why we're doing this. So I'm wondering Who's saying no to me? Now I'm hearing all of the numbers. I heard 3 and 1. So 3 missiles blew up. 1 was only supposed to be out of the silo. Besides PFC Donald Marsh, is there anybody else from the Nike missile explosion that would like to come and speak with us? Oh, it said found dead. Who was found dead? Sounded like he said, "We're your friends." I'm will. Ooh, I got a shock in my arm. Okay. Hello? Is anybody here from the Nike missile explosion that can come out and say hello? All right, we'll go on to the next spot and we'll see if we can locate any of the spirits that are closer to my home that I believe are from the Nike missile explosion. Let's head there now. As promised, we are where this explosion happened. We're in the neighborhood. Not only are we in the neighborhood, I'm on the exact spot where this happened. You know what's crazy is I live about a mile from here. I grew up in this town and I had no idea until a couple of years ago that this happened in our town. It's interesting what happens when you start looking into the history of the area where you live. Now, depending where you live, you could pretty much, you can find any kind of history, really. You might be located where an old fort was. You could be located where, I don't know. Yeah, there's all the possibilities are really endless. I was gonna spitball, but I'm kind of drawing a blank, which is my life sometimes. So we are at the rear of the recycling center here in town, and there's some woods here which I'll show you, and basically, probably if I felt like it, I could walk through here. You can see it, it's just woods, but directly in that way is where that big creepy White House is that we've been investigating. By the way, we're working on finding some people who have a direct connection to the house, so stay tuned, we'll get there, but we're working on this one right now. So let me draw a little picture for you. Okay. So this is suburbia. It's America. It's where you live. It's where I live. It's where we all live. But again, there's history in all of the places that we live. And it's important that we don't forget history, because what happens when you do, it can repeat itself. Now, I can pray that this never happens again, that we never have another tragedy like this again. And I know that it won't happen here in this part of town because the site is completely gone. And don't worry, they didn't immediately build on top of where this happened. This took many, many, many years to happen. Now, what brought my attention to this in the first place was that I know a family who lives back here, and they're not available right now, unfortunately, but soon enough, we'll get in and investigate their house. They asked me if I knew of any reason why this area in town would be haunted. And I said, I don't, but I can look into it and see if I can find a plausible reason why a ghost would be here, or many ghosts, who knows. And as soon as I started looking into it, I found the Nike Ajax missile explosion, and it was right here. I'm literally standing on the spot where the launch pad was that exploded and killed all of those Americans, all of those soldiers and the civilians that worked here and were in charge of the missiles. So what we're gonna do is, in a minute, I am going to turn on my SB7 spirit box right out here in the middle of the road, and I'm gonna see if any of those spirits want to come through and say hello. Maybe we'll get a response. I don't know. I'm pretty excited. I have a lot of energy right now, and I feel like we might get something, and we will find out if there is anybody still here. Sounds like a squawking bird. Speaking of which, we had pirates in this town too. I'll talk about that at some point. How did I get to pirates and squawking bird? Polly wants a cracker. You know. All right, let's do this. Let's ground. Try not to get anybody's house really in here. I don't want to make anybody upset. To all those who are around us, my name is Scott. I come respectfully and with love. I recently have been on a bit of a journey learning about what happened here in the 1950s with the missile explosion, and I know that some of you have been in my house and have come to visit me, and I wanted to see if I can make some sort of connection with you here. And if you had any messages, now would be a good time to connect with me. I have a radio in my hand. I'm gonna turn it on, and if you have the opportunity now to speak with us and chat with us, and just use this radio right here. So, with that being said, it just said here. Is there anybody here who would like to say hello? Me. I think we heard me earlier too, right? Can you say your name, please? Yeah? What's your name? Can you say a word that correlates to what happened here? Maybe it's that explosion. Is there anybody still here from the Nike missile explosion? Neat app, maybe it said? Can you tell me how many people passed away the day the explosion happened? Talking about it. Yes, we're talking about the missile explosion. Can you tell me your name? Are there any parts of the missile base still here? Yep. Is there a place where we can look for them? In the street? Okay, I'm not allowed to dig up the street. Is there any other place I can look? there. Now I'm looking at the woods. Should I look in the woods? It said be careful. Why should I be careful? What should I be careful of? Playbook, maybe? I'm not sure what that would mean. Was anybody with me out on Sandy Hook when I was out there at the Nike Missile Memorial? Sounds like he said me again. Can you say who me is? If I keep walking this way towards the woods, am I going to find anything else? Is there anything in the woods to find? It's possible. What would I find back here? Are there any human remains still back here? Back there. So, to be clear, the report says that they were not able to find everybody who was lost that day. They just had an accountability, and unfortunately the explosion was so great that they were unable to locate everybody, which is really sad. Again, if this is your first time watching me, I'm Scott. I'm a medium and a psychic. I'm also a Marine Corps veteran, and being blown up is a real threat when you're in the military, for sure. While I was in Iraq, it was something that we were always worried about. Of course, it's a different time and a different place, so I'm standing back in the woods now, and we're just going to ask again and see if anybody has anything to say. Is there anybody back here in the woods that would like to say hello? That was interesting. That was kind of like an older sounding man that came through. Who's back here with us? I am. Can you say your name? Is there anybody back here that needs our help? Is the sergeant here? Can you tell us why the missile exploded? Yeah? Why did the missile explode? Old? Do you have any kind of message for me? Do the people who occupy this area know that you're here? Do you ever visit any of the homes of the people here? do. Okay. Are you happy that I'm out here trying to talk with you? Roll call, it sounded like it said something you do in the military. Can you all come front and center? Okay. So I just came back here because I felt as though your story needs to be told. I'm going to do my best on this first video that I'm making, but I'm going to make more, and I'm going to try to talk to you some more times. I'll come back here more times and I'll try to communicate with you. So anybody back here, please just be aware that I'm here and I'm going to be around, and you have my permission to talk with me anytime that you'd like. Military person. I think if anybody can understand you, it's me. Is that okay? Said my name's Scott. Okay, everybody. So I hope that all of you enjoyed this little history lesson about what could be back in your own backyard or in the middle of the street where you live, which reminds me of a song, you know, our house. Anyways, I don't sing here. That's not what this channel's for. I can't sing. That's why it's what this channel isn't about. But I have a feeling that we're doing a good job educating people and bringing to light some stories that people may not know. And that's really important to me because I love history, I love the paranormal, and I love giving people who may not have a voice anymore a voice again. And I think that's the most important. Hey, if you haven't yet, do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button on this video. There's going to be a lot more. We have so much more cool stuff coming. If you're waiting for a part 2 of the Creepy Cane House, that is coming. I am making connections with people who are trying to help me get into the house. I feel like I'm getting grabbed by the leg right now. There's nothing down there. It literally felt like somebody was like pulling at my pant leg. So we are trying to make some friends basically and try to get in there, and I think that that's working pretty good, so we'll probably do that pretty soon. And yeah, if you haven't yet, again, hit the like and subscribe button. We got a lot more cool stuff coming on this channel. Again, it's not just about the paranormal. It's about so many different things. It's about history. It's about connection. It's about us as people connecting with our past and I guess our future. So your future is to watch more of my videos, so make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Watch the next video, watch an old video. I'm only getting better at this, and I appreciate all of you being here for the ride. And all the folks who came here from SGC, from TikTok, thank you so much. From those folks who are still finding me through Dalen, the Graveyard Shift folks, thanks so much for being here with me. I appreciate you. Big shout out to everybody who helps me along the way. Y'all rock. Also, you know what I gotta say, if you found me through Dave Schrader, Mr. Dave Schrader, Mr. Darkness Radio himself, thank you for being here as well. I appreciate you, and I appreciate everything Dave does for me along the way as well. All right, everybody, it's time for me to go home and edit this video that took me 2 hours to shoot. It'll take me 5 hours to edit and another 2 hours to upload. That's that YouTube life. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.